Welcome to this video podcast. This is about postmodern theories. Okay, now basically on the other 3 or 4 podcasts that are, not podcasts, video tutorials that I've done functionalist, Marxist, social action and feminist. These theories tend to be classed as modern theories. They're writing typically about an industrial society. Modern society is signified by the Industrial Revolution, leading right up until the 1960s, 1970s. What we have started to see now from the 1970s onwards is a decline in the industry, which would signify the Industrial Revolution, and that society has changed, and now we are in this postmodern era, and that just means literally after the modern. So start to have a look at some of these images, and is there a problem with the modern theories of functionalist, Marxist, feminism explaining these differences? Because what you start to see in a postmodern world is that we value difference and people are more open to individual life choices, sexualities, family types, religion, pastimes which are not typically traditional to what it was expected of them, and people are starting to change, and postmodernists want to try to explain those differences. So the modern theories, your functionalist, Marxist, or interactionist, don't tend to take into account any real individual differences between people. What postmodernists do understand, or try to understand, is that we make different choices. We may lead a different lifestyle and follow different paths. 50 years ago, it was acceptable for women to leave school, get married, and you stayed married for life, and your goal was to have children. That life path was fixed. For men, it was to get married and have a career for life. Okay, now you're starting to see a range of family types. People get divorced, people are choosing to have children, some people are choosing not to have children, and whatever. Okay, so we're all different. So according to postmodernists, the modern theories have led people to impose a framework which ignores those that do not fit neatly into the classifications, and postmodernists try to explain these differences within people. So postmodernists suggest that we can pick and mix our identity. That's why I've put a picture of like Sweet Shop there. And if you start to have a look at fashion, you start to have a look at migration, you start to have a look at the media, we can pick and mix our identity now. We can pick and mix our religion, if we want a religion or not. Okay, so the only problem or the only limitation is that there are limits to the choices we can make, because it depends on wealth in some choices that you choose to make. So in the same way as we are using the analogy of the theme of the body for functionalist, and the analogy of the league table for Marxist, and the analogy of the play for social action, postmodernist can be described as a theme park. Imagine you are going to Disneyland, and you're walking down Main Street and you're thinking, right, what ride do I want to go on first? Now for some people it might be It's a Small World, for other people it might be Space Mountain. But the choice is down to you, and that is what postmodernists recognise, that we don't all pick the same ride to go on first, that we are different and we make different choices and different experiences. So your last task in your booklet uses many of the key terms. Read the page in your booklet, but uses many of the key terms. Write a paragraph about one aspect of social life. I think this is activity 16 in your booklet, about family life. So how has family life changed? Talk about things like divorce, like gender roles, who does the cooking, the cleaning, things like that. Okay, what about lifestyle? So do you want to take a gap year, or do you follow in your father's footsteps? Religion, how has religion changed? What about communication? What about global networks, the rise of the internet, iPhones? These are all features of a postmodern society where there is lots of choice and lots of diversity. Okay, and that should just give you a little bit of an understanding about what postmodern theories is. Thank you for listening.